Hi, everyone. I'm Marianne Gouveia, and I am the founder of Eric's House. And we're here today with two very, very special people. First is Madison Shirley, and she really runs Eric's House. She's responsible for all of our client interactions and our member services. So she's here with us today. And one of our parents, Jackie Cole, is here. And Jackie is really a very special person. She lost her son, Stuart, to suicide at the end of 2021. And I know what a difficult journey that is. And Jackie has done so well working through her grief and is even turning her loss into good for others. So we're going to share a little bit about Jackie and what Jackie's doing in the community. So Jackie, let's start with Stuart. Tell us a little bit about Stuart.
Thanks, Marianne. And thank you, Maddie. Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics, talking about my children. Stu, I'd like to say that I think, accomplished his goals prior to his death. And I'm happy to say that he wanted very badly to be established in his career as a barber, and he wanted to have his own apartment in Manhattan. And he did. He lived on the Lower East Side. And he told me when I came to visit Mom, it's kind of the size of a camper, but it's my own place. So he was really excited about that. And yeah, he was such an amazing barber. He was very artistic, always very artistic, very physically. He was an amazing dancer. He started out in ballroom and progressed to swing, and he would compete, and he loved it. And then the barbering it's a physical art.
Mm-hmm.
So he enjoyed that very much. So yeah, he was a funny kid. He loved to laugh, and yeah, he loved to talk. And he would call me, and we didn't really talk for hours. I listened for hours. So yeah, he was a delight.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. We always like to hear about our loved ones.
Yes.
So, we talk about suicide as sort of the unthinkable death. It's hard to imagine what we go through when we're faced with grief from suicide. And part of what happens to us as loss survivors is that our identity changes. And we're wondering, well, what are we doing with our lives? Where is meaning and purpose in our lives? I know for me, and I think it's the same for you, Jackie, that who am I now question is so relevant because we're so dramatically different after we lose somebody we love to suicide. So talk a little bit about that. What was that like for you?
Well, I think, for sure the first year after Stu died, I didn't really think about much other than how much it hurt and how sad we were and how are we going to muddle through. And yeah, survival definitely was the goal, the mission the first year. And the idea of my identity being different, yeah, it was everything. It was not just who am I, but my beliefs, the way I thought the world was supposed to work, the way I envisioned my future, even looking back on the past changed. Everything was different. And I know that I, at one point, more than one point, asked myself the actual question, who am I going to be now? Because I didn't know. I had no footing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, during our grief journey, we know the first 2-3 years are just, they just unfold the way they unfold. And we do everything that we can do to help ourselves heal. But there's always a turning point. There's always something that happens, either gradually or, in an event. There's always a turning point that says, you know what? I need to figure out what the rest of my life is going to look like. What was the turning point for you?
I think I had two turning points because I remember asking myself over and over again, what am I going to do with all this pain? What do I do with the pain? And I was reading something once, and this mother was telling her story that she had so much love to give. She wanted to return this love. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to do something with all this love. And that really was the case. When I looked at when you and I started coaching, the fact that looking back on the things that had brought me pleasure in the past and the things that were still of interest to me, it was all born of joy and love. It wasn't pain,
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, that's a reframing of that. What do I do with all this love?
Mhm.
And then the second thing was just this feeling I had that I have to stop fighting this
Mhm.
reality. It
Mm.
is my reality. And through our coaching sessions together, I learned that this has to exist, this pain, this grief, this new relationship with my son that I have to work a little harder at now, at least to be a lot easier. Um, that's always going to be there. And I don't know if you remember, but early on in our sessions, I had mentioned, I just wish I could schedule a time for this pain every day. I just want to grieve from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and be done with it for the day because it just hurts so bad to have it always there with you. But learning to walk alongside of it and use that love for motivation rather than the sadness, I think
Yeah.
really helped me.
Yeah, that is beautifully said, really, Jackie. It creates, reframing sadness helps create momentum towards healing, but also momentum towards that self-discovery that we all need to live our lives forward. Yeah, so that's really important. Thank you for sharing that. Now I know we were talking a little bit about you in the early days feeling I got to do something really big, start a foundation, make it be big, help everyone in the world. And then we all recognize, myself included, that that is a momentum that's created by our pain and sorrow, and also our desire to do something to memorialize our loved one. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I just wanted something with my son's name on it. And I thought it had to be something big. And of course, the people that you listen to on podcasts and read books, they've all published a book or started a foundation or a scholarship. They've built physical structures. And so I thought, oh my gosh, my son needs something in his name. And then working with you, I realized we all have gifts and we all have talents and skills.
Mm.
I have to use mine to create a living memory of my son. And a quote by Pablo Picasso, I know is one of your favorites. And I found a quote, and I this is much more recent, and I think the author probably just kind of took it a little further. And his quote was, "The purpose of life is to discover your gift. The work of life is to develop it, and the meaning of life is to give your gift away." And I really thought that spoke to me of my son, that's exactly what he did in his short life. He discovered his gift. He worked really hard. He worked hard to develop his gifts. He was very focused, and he was able to give it away. The dance, he literally gave away. He loved it. Even after his death, when we would run into people who had been his dance partners, would tell us how they made him feel, or he made them feel like princesses because he was such an amazing dancer. So he gave it away that way. And his hairstyles, people would get to sit with him for a while and leave feeling really good about themselves. So I thought, that's what it's about. He doesn't want me to start a huge foundation or try to follow in his footsteps to become a dancer. Be true to me.
Yeah. Be your authentic self.
Yes.
Use your talents and skills. And do what feels good to you, that allows you to share all this love that you have now. Well, and I'll say love and compassion.
Yes.
Allows you to share with others.
Jackie, can you tell us about what you're doing in the community that connects you to Stuart and aligns with your authentic self?
Yes, thank you. In my day job, I work as a personal trainer and a fitness instructor. I teach mostly older adults, meaning my age and older, and I teach yoga classes as well. And I was fortunate enough to be able to lead yoga in the park this summer in conjunction with our local farmers market. It was a lot of fun. It was kid yoga, and I've never done that before, but it was a lot of fun. And from there, working with the kids, I ran into a lovely woman who leads drum circles at it's a child prevention outreach called Center for Hope and Healing. And so I contacted them and asked them if they'd be interested in me coming in and do some yoga with families. And they said yes. And that will start in October. That was, yeah, just a great experience to meet with that group. Then just today, I received a phone call from a local camp, and they're going to be, they have a retreat that they're hosting, and they would like me to come and lead some yoga classes there. So I'm very excited about that. Also, I've been given the opportunity by Marianne to write a column for the Eric's House newsletter. I do have a degree in journalism, and so it was really nice to be able to use my writing skills again. But I get to interview people who have lost a loved one and talk to them about ways in which they're able to keep a connection going with their loved one. Most of these people are doing small things that feel real to them. And it's been a journey for them too, to develop ways in which they can maintain their relationships.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing about Stuart with us and what you're doing in the community. I so enjoy reading our Love is Alive column each month. So thank you for writing that for us. And also thank you for facilitating groups with Eric's House as well. We really appreciate all of your time, compassion, and dedication to Eric's House and honoring your son, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jackie. You're amazing, and you're an inspirational woman.
You're both so kind. Thank you very much.